Hello guys, once again it's Matt, and today we have another video. Thank you all the members, all the patrons. Make sure to subscribe, guys. We're trying to hit 50,000 subscribers until the end of the year, so help me out there. It helps a lot on the algorithm of YouTube. And let's get into it. So we have answers for the developers. Finally, something new to actually proper talk about today. Basically, they did a Q&A with Vyacheslav Bulanikov, which is one of the lead developers in War Thunder. So yeah, it's the Russian guy on the Russian dev stream. The left one is always on the left side of the screen. That is basically one of the lead developers there. So pretty cool guy actually to do this type of thing. So yeah, a lot of things happening here, and we are going to go over it. I'm not gonna read everything. I'm just going to pass it over and talk a little bit about it, okay? So the first question is actually asking about South Africa and Finnish sub-trees, if they are actually going to add the same type of thing for the Italians. And they have such plans, so basically confirming that the Hungarian and the Romanian sub-tree are coming, or at least one of them. For the Italian. So that would be very cool. I cannot wait to actually see that, especially in the Cold War department, because they're socialist, right, in the Cold War. So I wonder if they're actually going to add the socialist tanks and aircraft on the Italian tech tree. It would be very funny to have an F-16 and a MiG-29 in the same tech tree, right? Then we have a question basically asking about the voices on ground forces for South Africa and Finnish, basically sub-trees, right? If they're going to have their own voices or something like that. And they say that they are working on it. So the crew voices inside the tank, right? So pretty cool. Third question is basically asking about light tanks or a light tank tech, basically tree or line for the UK. I mean, we don't have the Scorpion FVs or the Fox, right? The Ferret and other Warrior variants. So yeah, basically they're confirming that these vehicles are coming, not mentioning specifically what are the ones that are coming, right? Another fourth question is asking about the new effects on the damage indicators in ground forces. They are going to actually basically put an option that you can go to the old system or the new system, because apparently some people don't like the new system. So yeah, this is in the works for the next major update, probably in March. And then some questions about ranks and stuff like that. It doesn't matter too much. Okay, aviation planes. So yeah, first question in aviation is talking about introduction of the ejection seat. So they're actually having such plans to actually introduce for the jets. They had it in real life. The ejection seats animations when the aircraft is destroyed and you're trying to basically eject, right? So pretty cool. That doesn't change anything on the game, on the gameplay itself, but it is a cool feature. Then on the second question, he asks about two things. First thing is the BOZ type of pod introduced in the Tornado of Flares and Chaff. This system is actually basically the type of system that you can actually choose what type of flare or chaff kind of situation that you actually want to release. The Mirage 2000 also has this. So for example, you are facing just radar guided missiles, you can choose to fire only chaff or 3 chaff and 1 flare or whatever. You know, it has many programations that you can do. And this is in real life, right? And they're basically asking if that's going to be added at some point. And also asking if the Mirage 2000, for example, and the Harrier GR7 that has the MAW system, which we have in helicopters, right? Which is basically the missile warning system that we have. Some aircraft from the 90s or late 80s, they also started to have that. Many aircraft from the 90s will have that. The Su-27M, for example, Su-34, Mirage 2000, Harrier 7, the Avi-8B, some American aircraft as well, the A-10C, many others will have this type of system, and they are basically asking if they are going to have it. So yeah, basically they're saying that it's too complex to add the system of the flares, which you can change in the middle of the flight. And at least this is the data that I get from this. And the MAW system will be added. Of course it will be added. Obviously it's confirmed, but it is in the plans. But it's too early to talk about release dates right now. Might be coming the next update or not. So the next one is basically asking for Japan that lacks basically top tier SAM and close air support aircraft, and asking if there is any aircraft that can be filled with that, or any sub threes like the South Korean, right? So yeah, it's complicated, but they basically answer saying that Japan doesn't have any modern ground strike aircraft, but they are planning to add multi-purpose aviation capable of dealing with ground targets. What does this mean? It means that they're probably going to add anti-radiation, anti-ship missiles, stuff like that for the Japanese, as well as for the others. But basically for the Japanese, it is kind of confirmed here, because they kind of don't have ground aircraft, air-to-ground aircraft, right? But they have fighters that can do air-to-ground precisely. And not only with Mavericks and stuff like that, but also with anti-ship, a runway, and anti-everything munitions, right? So yeah. Do you plan to return the lead marker for aircraft which were able to calculate in reality? So yeah, basically the lead markers for the HUD, right? So they are considering implementing. This was actually implemented kind of in the last patch, but they removed it, if you remember. So pretty interesting. But they are planning to introduce it, especially for the HUD. After that, but probably for the third person as well. Also, the maps. So they are asking basically if third and fourth generation jets are going to be are they going to be fully integrated into the big EC 120 by 128 kilometers maps or not, right? They're basically asking that. And they basically say that they don't want to actually transfer fully the top tier aircraft for the biggest maps, but they will increase it and prepare more missions and stuff like that. So yeah, pretty cool, right? So, and the next question is just asking if they are actually basically planning to add more types of missions in the air battles, right? So basically destructible radar, jamming stations, drone centers, ballistics, and some systems that when destroyed affect any enemy AA efficiency, any planes for destructive runways. If there are more than one mission, whatever. Probably yes. It doesn't say anything. They're just thinking about more stuff like that. This is one of the biggest ones. Do you plan to introduce anti-radar missiles for aircraft that have them? In 11.0, mixed battle SAM SPAAGs dominate aircraft anti-radiation missiles might help that. Yes, they are considering this type of missile. And they basically say that arms from the 60s to the 80s, they are pretty bad. And that's why it's going to be actually complex to actually add them. And it's difficult to see how effective they were actually. Of course, 60s and 70s missiles like that, they were pretty bad at doing its job. And especially they were made for attacking basically static sites, not moving sites. So there is that to consider as well. Nonetheless, I think they should add it, and it feels like they are considering adding, but basically not right now. I thought they were going to add the next patch, for example, but in the way that they are just considering, like, I mean, possible balancing media, but they're not confirming, right? They're just talking about it. So yeah, pretty weird. I don't know. But next question, more physics for aircraft bombs such as weight to armor penetration ratio. Yes, kinetic damage is planned for aircraft bombs. So this is pretty interesting. If you hit, for example, 8,000 kilogram bomb into a tank, before it even explodes, it should destroy the tank because the large 8,000 kilograms, right? So yeah, that's interesting. Then helicopters, they actually ask about the AGM 114L, which is a more advanced version of the given the advanced yeah, it's just a more advanced version of the Hellfire, and they're not considering at the moment since it's capable of completing Gnar smoke screens, which is a far off balance. So yeah, they're not considering anything that it's that OP. So yeah. Naval, so basically confirms that the French coastal and blue water fleets are coming, probably very soon. Staying tuned to the news normally means that it's coming next patch. So basically confirming French Navy is coming. So yeah, previous update, some customizations about like camos and stuff. They're confirming that they basically are adding it. And then basically they have some other stuff here asking if they're going to go for a more arcadey kind of situation on Naval or more realistic. And they say they are going to do both, but no simulator apparently. They ask if they're going to basically do circles with the scout aircraft. They plan to do that as well. They basically did the same thing that the drones has, right? And then they're asking if they're going to revisit the way the damage and fragments work to explode inside the ships, and that they're not working or something like that. And they say that they are working as intended, and they're not going to take a look on that. And then the last question is basically asking about splitting battle ratings, which is a very interesting thing, especially for aircraft, to have basically an air battle rating and a ground battle rating, right? And they say a kind of a weird answer. So yeah, this might sound weird, but every time we discuss this idea inside the team and see statistics, it turns out that the aircraft which are expected to perform strongly with their BR split, in fact, are quite effective in their great game mode. This was forcing us to cancel this option. I don't understand how they actually, I mean, what aircraft are they using to actually see the statistics? Go take a look on the A7, it's a pretty good option. I mean, even though we have very good statistics with it, especially now, it doesn't mean that the aircraft is balanced at 10.7, right? So, I don't know, man, it just feels weird. I don't know, it's just a weird answer. So they're not planning, basically, they're answering that they don't plan to do that. So, very weird. But anyway, this is it, guy, kind of a long video actually. I thought it would be a little bit shorter. Many things that we can take from this, especially Hungarian Tech 3 is coming, ejection sheets is coming, MAL systems obviously are coming, more types of missions and basically missiles and stuff are coming as well for the fourth generation, and other minor things. I mean, nothing too major here, to be honest, but it is good that they are doing this. I wish they actually did this more. It's just not that many Q&As that they do. So yeah, pretty interesting, right? But anyway, I hope you enjoyed. Make sure to subscribe, as I said, and I see you guys on the next one. Okay?